welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be diving in.
Yeah, let's get straight to it. We're looking at, well, a massive sector today, the nonprofit world. Think trillions of dollars managed globally, tens of millions employed.
It's huge. The scale is incredible.
Exactly. But here's a statistic that really caught my eye. The actual percentage of households donating, it's been decreasing.
Right. And that's a serious challenge.
It absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone interested in how we tackle societal problems, it raises a big question, doesn't it? How can these crucial organizations, not just survive, but really maximize their impact?
That's pretty much the core of what we're unpacking today. We know a lot of you want to get your head around this evolving landscape, but without getting, bogged down in jargon and endless reports. So consider this our focused exploration. We're diving deep into artificial intelligence, specifically its role in the nonprofit sector.
And our main guide for this journey is the book Nonprofit AI, a comprehensive guide to implementing artificial intelligence for social good. It's by Nathan Chappell and Scott Rosenkranz.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't some far-off sci-fi thing. The book gives really concrete, accessible ways nonprofits can use AI to be more effective. And crucially, it's about doing that without adding to the burnout, which is already a huge issue.
Definitely. And it's clearly struck a chord. You see endorsements from people right across the sector. Mallory Erickson, Lori Freeman, Alicia Fricks, Ben Miller, Tim Sarantonio. They're all pointing to the same things.
Which are?
The practical advice, the real examples, and this strong focus on using AI responsibly for social good.
And the authors themselves, they're not just theorists, are they? They bring, 30 years combined experience actually in the nonprofit world?
Exactly. Plus this global view on how AI can be used well.
Okay. So our mission today is clear. We're pulling out the most critical insights from this guide about AI's place in nonprofits.
Looking at the opportunities, the challenges.
Yep. Always focusing on what it actually means for organizations trying to make a bigger difference. Get ready for some potentially surprising stuff.
Okay, so let's start with the why now. The book talks about the sort of convergence of factors, right? Making AI especially relevant for nonprofits. At this moment, they call it a perfect storm.
Perfect storm, yeah. What are the key elements of that storm?
Well, one huge catalyst was obviously the global pandemic.
Right.
It really exposed vulnerabilities, didn't it? And just hammered home how vital digital tools had become. Organizations that were already kind of digitally savvy,
They were way ahead.
they were much better placed to adapt, to keep serving people when everything went remote.
Yeah, absolutely. That need for resilience, for different ways to connect, it became so clear. And at the same time, there's been this growing scrutiny on nonprofit finances, hasn't there?
Mm-hmm. Donors, foundations, they want to see efficiency. They want proof of impact. Understandable.
Every penny counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you need to show the results. Then you've got the tech itself just exploding AI, big data.
A double-edged sword, though, isn't it? Massive potential, but also real ethical questions.
True. And we can't forget the donors themselves. Their expectations are changing.
Yeah, especially younger donors, maybe. They want connection, personalized stuff, clear proof their money is making a difference. You mentioned Mallory Erickson's work that focus on being donor-centric.
Exactly. They want partnership, tangible outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And all this is happening against the backdrop of what the authors call the generosity crisis. You mentioned that earlier. Can you unpack that a bit?
Yeah, it's quite stark when you look at the numbers. Their book, The Generosity Crisis, highlighted this really significant downward trend. The percentage of U.S. households donating. It went from a high of 66% around 2000.
Wow.
Down to below 50% by 2018.
Below half.
Yeah. For the first time, those who donate became the minority. It's this phenomenon people call dollars up, donors down. The total money might hold steady or even rise, but it's coming from fewer and fewer people.
That's definitely concerning. And it's not just money, is it? It's time, too.
No, absolutely. The drop in volunteering is just as worrying. AmeriCorps data showed this sharp fall in formal volunteering in the U.S. Went from 30% in 2019 down to just 23% in 2021.
That's a huge drop in just 2 years.
Biggest in decades. And that puts immense strain on nonprofits, especially those smaller grassroots ones that really depend on volunteers.
So what are the driving forces behind this generosity crisis, according to the book, beyond the stats? Is it about changing values?
They suggest it's a mix of things, all interconnected, maybe shifts in societal values, less community engagement, perhaps declining trust in institutions,
Hmm.
plus the obvious economic pressures, cost of living, wages not keeping up. The book kind of lays out how these broader trends are likely shrinking that pool of givers and volunteers.
It really paints a picture of why nonprofits need new approaches, doesn't it? To connect, to show their value. It's not business as usual.
Definitely not. And this is where the book introduces a really potent metaphor for AI's potential. AI as the new electricity.
The new electricity, why
Yeah.
that comparison?
Well, it's about the potential for fundamental, widespread change. Like electricity did, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just another invention, it was foundational.
Right. It changed everything.
Sparked a revolution, improved lives, connected people. The authors argue AI has that same kind of transformative power.
It really helps you grasp the potential scale.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something interesting, a surprising historical link. Philanthropy and the very start of AI.
Yeah, this is fascinating. The actual term artificial intelligence. It was coined at a conference in 1956, Dartmouth College, and that conference, funded by the Rockefeller Foundation.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, people like John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, Nathaniel Rochester, Claude Shannon, key figures. They organized this big summer research project, and the Rockefeller Foundation's grant basically got the whole field started. McCarthy even suggested back then that, anything related to learning or intelligence could, in theory, be simulated by a machine.
So philanthropy wasn't just an adopter later on. It was literally there at the birth of AI.
Exactly. It's symbolic, isn't it? Nonprofits and foundations, they have this history of backing innovation for good, and that early role kind of implies an ongoing responsibility now, to help guide AI ethically.
So AI isn't some abstract future tech. It's already here in our daily lives. But there's still a lot of, confusion, myths around it. The book tries to clear some of that up.
Yeah, it's crucial to get past the Hollywood stuff and see what AI actually is and isn't. They give a helpful rundown of how it evolved, from early ideas to, deep learning now.
Can you give us the quick version of that evolution?
Sure. So the 90s, 2000s, you see machine learning really taking off. More computing power, more data meant AI could start tackling real problems. Even some early nonprofit uses, like analyzing donor data.
Okay.
Then maybe the last decade or so, you get the deep learning revolution. Big breakthroughs in neural networks, massive amounts of data available, powerful processors.
So,
That's what's behind things like large language models, GPT. The stuff many nonprofits are starting to explore now.
and what really fueled that recent surge? What were the key ingredients?
Two main things, really. Big data and way more computing power. Nonprofits today, they generate tons of data, right? Donor records, social media, program results.
Mm-hmm.
AI systems learn from that data, find patterns humans would miss, uncover insights, and then faster processors, GPUs, plus cloud computing that made it affordable. Even smaller orgs can now process huge data sets.
So it's not just for the Googles and Microsofts anymore.
Exactly. Cloud platforms have been a game changer, democratized access. You don't need massive server farms. Plus, the open source community has been huge, people sharing code, tools. That accelerates everything and makes powerful stuff available to nonprofits, too.
Okay, so give us some concrete examples. How are nonprofits actually using AI right now?
The book highlights quite a few areas. Optimizing resources is a big one, making sure limited funds and time go where they'll have the most impact.
Makes sense.
Enhancing mission delivery tailoring programs, like to individual needs. Improving donor and volunteer engagement, building stronger connections.
And the tech itself, it's not just one thing called AI, right?
Yeah.
There are different types.
That's right. The book breaks it down a bit. Machine learning that's about systems learning from data to make predictions or find patterns.
Okay.
Natural language processing, or NLP, that's getting computers to understand human language. Computer vision letting AI see and interpret images.
Right.
Reinforcement learning training systems through trial and error, good for optimizing things. Robotics, AI, in physical machines, maybe for logistics. And the Internet of Things, IoT, all those connected devices generating data AI can analyze.
Okay, quite a few branches under that AI umbrella. Now let's tackle some of those myths you mentioned, the things that might be holding some nonprofits back.
Yeah, one of the biggest is definitely AI will replace the human touch.
You hear that a lot.
You do, but the book really stresses it's more about augmented intelligence. AI as a tool to boost human skills, not eliminate them. Think Gabe Cooper, McKenna Bailey. Their work on responsive fundraising emphasizes combining AI insights with genuine human connection. It's crucial.
Makes sense. Augmentation, not replacement. What's another common one?
That AI is only for huge corporations,
Okay.
big budgets, massive teams.
Right.
But like we said, cloud services, open source tools, even these no-code AI platforms,
Hmm.
they make it accessible for smaller nonprofits too. The advice is usually start small, pick a specific problem, try something manageable, learn from it.
Good advice. Start small, build momentum.
Yeah.
And the idea that AI is some kind of magic wand.
Yeah, the AI is a one-size-fits-all solution myth. The book's clear. AI works best on specific, well-defined challenges. You need clear goals. You need ways to measure success. It's a powerful tool, but you have to wield it strategically.
Got it. So we've got this powerful tech, but also a lot of buzz, maybe unrealistic expectations. The book brings up the AI hype cycle. What's that about?
It's a model. Gartner developed it, I think. It helps understand how we typically react to new tech like AI. Starts with an innovation trigger.
Yeah.
Some breakthrough gets everyone excited. Leads to the peak of inflated expectations.
Overpromising, right? Then, inevitably, the trough of disillusionment when it doesn't instantly solve everything.
We've been there with other tech waves.
Exactly. But if the tech has real value, you move to the slope of enlightenment, practical uses emerge.
Yeah.
And finally, the plateau of productivity, where it's just a normal, useful tool.
So it's a reminder the path isn't always smooth. Expect ups and downs. And the book also talks about needing AI fluency. What does that mean beyond just knowing the jargon?
Yeah, fluency is more than tech speak. It's about creative thinking, how AI really help us. It's ethical awareness, understanding the responsibilities. And it's building confidence in your team to actually use the tools. Like imagine a program manager using AI to analyze participant feedback to actually make the program better. That's fluency in action.
Okay, so how do nonprofits build that fluency? Any practical steps?
The book suggests several things. Encourage small projects, get hands-on experience, foster curiosity, make brainstorming AI ideas a regular thing.
Emphasize ethics from day one. Prioritize continuous learning. The field moves fast. Encourage collaboration. It's not just an IT thing. And build confidence. Let people try the tools, see the benefits.
Sounds like a mix of learning and doing. Now, the book makes a strong case that being AI first isn't optional anymore. It's becoming essential. Why are the stakes so high?
Well, think about the challenges nonprofits face. Rising inequality, climate change, instability. The demand for their services is only growing.
Right.
And interestingly, the book even cites a study suggesting AI investment in some areas might actually be widening inequality.
Wow, so the tech itself could be making the problems worse in some ways.
Potentially, yeah, which makes the nonprofit role even more critical. And without using AI strategically, they risk falling behind, not meeting needs, burning out staff. But again, AI first doesn't mean replacing people. It means letting tech handle the routine stuff so humans can focus on empathy, relationships, creative solutions.
And there are already some amazing examples of AI tackling previously unsolvable problems, right?
Absolutely. The ingenuity is incredible, like using AI audio recognition to monitor endangered species just by listening to forest sounds.
Amazing.
Or researchers using machine learning to analyze complex whale songs to help conservation. AI apps diagnosing eye diseases in remote areas. International Medical Corps using predictive analytics and disaster response to get aid where it's needed faster. Potentially life-saving stuff.
Truly remarkable applications. And the book mentions an insight from Trevor Noah about where innovation comes from.
Yeah, at a Microsoft event, he basically said, necessity is the mother of invention, especially in underserved places. He challenged the idea that innovation only flows from wealthy countries. Often, it's communities facing the biggest needs who find the most creative uses for tech.
Like the zipline example in Rwanda, delivering medical supplies by drone.
Exactly. AI navigating tough terrain to deliver blood and vaccines, a high-tech solution born from urgent local need, not Silicon Valley billions. The book encourages nonprofits to adopt that mindset. Innovation comes from solving real problems, empower communities as co-creators.
That's a powerful message. Okay, let's get practical. How can AI be applied across different nonprofit functions? Program delivery, for instance.
Okay, several ways. Predictive AI can forecast community needs, analyze social media, government data, spot hardship areas early, allow for proactive response.
Right. Get ahead of a curve.
AI can personalize program delivery, assess skill levels, tailor learning materials like for an education nonprofit, monitor progress, adapt interventions.
That sounds much more effective than a one-size-fits-all program. What else?
Streamlining program management, automating routine admin tasks, using AI dashboards for real-time insights, Frees up staff for the core work.
Makes sense.
And impact measurement, huge area. AI can automate data collection, analyze complex data sets, give much clearer insights into whether programs are actually working. The book mentions a workforce development org using AI to track job placement metrics.
So moving beyond anecdotes to real data on impact, and there's a specific case study mentioned, Stop Soldier Suicide.
Yes, a really powerful example. They use AI to analyze language patterns in their communications with veterans.
Okay.
The AI identifies subtle signs of distress, flags individuals potentially at high risk of suicide, allowing trained staff to intervene proactively. It's AI directly helping to save lives.
Incredible, vital work.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears to fundraising, obviously critical for nonprofits. How's AI changing that landscape?
The impact's already pretty big and growing. The book cites data showing nonprofits using AI strategically are seeing significant donation increases, sometimes up to 50% more through predictive analytics, better donor data.
Wow, 50%.
Yeah, the real power is improving donor retention, personalizing outreach, making interactions more relevant.
And the authors themselves started experimenting with this back in 2017.
They did. They talk about trying to move beyond just looking at wealth data, which was standard. They wanted to use machine learning to actually measure someone's connection to the cause, believing that was the real predictor of giving.
Interesting. And their approach has evolved since then. The book outlines 5 key evolutions.
Yeah, 5 main shifts they've seen or championed. First is data enrichment. AI pulls info from everywhere, not just giving history to build a richer picture of each donor. Interests, engagement, public info, a holistic view.
Right, understanding the whole person, not just the wallet. What's number 2?
Second is AI and continual learning. Old fundraising models were static. AI models are dynamic. They learn and adapt constantly as donors interact. Give a gift, volunteer, attend an event. The model updates their profile, their likelihood to give. The authors say something great here. The worst AI you will ever use is today because of AI's ability to retrain and improve.
That's a fantastic point. Always getting better. Okay, evolution 3.
Third, differentiated fundraising models. It works best to model donors and non-donors separately. They have different characteristics, and crucially, capturing experiential data, quantifying connection through interactions, not just dollars.
So understanding different paths to engagement. Makes sense.
Yep.
Number 4.
Fourth is quality over quantity. Machine learning shows that nurturing a smaller group of highly engaged, high-value donors is often better long-term than chasing lots of small, less engaged ones. AI helps find those high-potential folks and, just as importantly, efficiently identifies prospects who probably won't give so you can focus your effort.
More strategic, more efficient outreach.
Got it.
And the 5th evolution.
Fifth, and super important, the imperative of transparency. As you use AI more in fundraising, you have to be open with donors about it. Trust is everything.
Absolutely crucial. So those are big shifts. And the book gives an example of optimizing annual giving campaigns.
Yeah, using predictive AI, analyzing past giving, engagement metrics. AI can suggest the best time to reach out to specific donors and personalize the message based on their interests and history, leads to better results.
And that personalization keeps coming up. Donors expect it now, don't they?
They really do.
Right.
We get it everywhere else as consumers, right? So they expect nonprofits they support to understand them too. AI lets nonprofits tailor approaches based on preferences, past behavior, engagement history. Makes it feasible even for smaller teams.
There's even an example of using generative AI for storytelling. A veterans group.
Yeah, great example. Using AI to help craft compelling stories about veteran successes, generate visuals for campaigns, even help prep personalized presentations for major donors, bringing the mission to life in ways that really connect.
Sounds like it can enhance the emotional connection, too.
Yeah.
What about the admin side of fundraising? Can AI help there?
Oh, massively. Fundraising has so much admin databases, thank you notes, follow-ups. AI automation can handle loads of those repetitive tasks.
Bring up staff time.
Exactly. Time for building relationships, for strategy. AI can automate entire engagement workflows, making sure every donor feels valued without burying the team in admin.
Okay, so for nonprofits wanting to start using AI in fundraising, what are the key first steps the book recommends?
First, define clear goals. What exactly do you want AI to help you achieve in fundraising? Then, start small pilot projects, test things out, learn.
Right.
Invest in staff training people need to understand and trust the tools. Leverage existing nonprofit-specific AI tools, there are more and more out there, and track your progress, set metrics, evaluate, adjust.
Strategic, iterative. Got it. Okay, let's move beyond fundraising. Volunteers so vital for many nonprofits. How can AI help manage volunteer programs?
It can tackle a lot of the usual headaches: recruitment, retention, scheduling, communication. Predictive AI can forecast volunteer needs, find good recruits. Generative AI can create personalized volunteer experiences. Automation AI can streamline the admin scheduling, reminders, etc., cuts down the manual work for staff.
Can you give an example?
Sure. The book mentions a community cleanup group. They use AI automation for recruitment, targeting people based on interests and location. Personalized communication keeps volunteers engaged, and smart scheduling ensures they have the right number of people based on availability and preferences.
Sounds like it improves things for everyone, the org and the volunteers. What are the key recommendations for implementing AI in volunteer management?
Again, start with clear objectives. What problem are you trying to solve? Invest in integrating AI smoothly with your existing systems. Budget for ongoing maintenance, not just setup. And monitor performance. Is it actually helping?
Makes sense. It's about supporting the human side of volunteering. Okay, marketing and communications, raising awareness, engaging supporters. AI's role there.
It can really boost social media, automate some content creation, maybe drafting posts, suggesting variations, analyze engagement, what resonates, what doesn't, helps refine messaging, timing, improve reach.
And the Furniture Bank example was about using AI for images.
Yes, a Canadian nonprofit. They used AI to create custom images tailored to their audience. Boosted online engagement, helped them tell stories ethically, cost-effectively, avoiding generic or potentially problematic stock photos.
Using AI for better storytelling.
Yeah.
Ethically. Good example. Okay, looking a bit broader now, admin functions, forecasting.
Yeah, AI can analyze historical data to forecast future needs. Budgeting, financial planning, resource allocation. Helps make more informed decisions, like analyzing donation trends plus economic indicators to predict fundraising income more accurately.
Oh.
Generative AI can also help with internal comms, drafting staff newsletters, summarizing meeting minutes. The book mentions a library foundation doing this.
Could save a lot of time. And HR functions within nonprofits.
AI tools can automate things like payroll admin, benefits management, even parts of performance reviews. They can help forecast staffing needs, analyze turnover risks, create personalized onboarding or training. An anti-poverty nonprofit example is mentioned.
Seems like AI really can touch almost every part of an organization. So the book then pulls back to talk about overall strategies for success, beyond specific areas. What are the big principles?
Number 1, start with a clear vision linked to your mission. Focus on specific use cases that solve real problems. They warn against having no vision, just jumping on the bandwagon, or too much vision, trying to do everything at once.
Right. Focus is key.
And data quality is absolutely critical. Garbage in, garbage out. So good data governance practices are essential.
Need that solid foundation. What else?
Leverage existing systems where possible. Integrate AI thoughtfully. Don't rip and replace everything. Get leadership buy-in and staff buy-in through training and education. That's crucial.
People need to be on board.
Definitely. And then immersion, really embedding AI into daily workflows. And finally, establish clear ethical standards and oversight. Regular audits, transparency with stakeholders about how AI is being used.
Those cultural and technical aspects seem vital. The book goes into the specific challenges too, right? Cultural and technical hurdles.
Yeah. Culturally, things like lack of vision or too much vision, like we said, resistance to change from staff fear, uncertainty.
Understandable.
Technically, poor data quality is a big one. Integration complexity, needing new skills in the team, and just keeping up with how fast AI is changing.
It moves so fast. And the strategies for overcoming these.
It comes back to those core ideas. Picking the right use cases and tools, getting leadership and staff buy-in, leveraging existing tech, full immersion. These help navigate the hurdles.
And that investment in training, building AI literacy seems fundamental. What resources does the book suggest?
A good mix. Online platforms like Coursera, Andrew Yang's AI for Everyone is great. Udemy for more practical courses. Even YouTube for free tutorials.
Look out there.
Internally, things like workshops, mentorship programs encouraging that curious AI mindset. And specific programs like OpenAI for nonprofits, discounted access, and Microsoft's AI for Good grants are really valuable too.
So resources are available, even for smaller orgs.
Yeah.
Let's look ahead. What's next? What's the future potential for AI and nonprofits?
The book touches on some cool emerging stuff.
Yeah.
Agentive AI making proactive decisions, maybe in disaster relief. Augmented and virtual reality for immersive storytelling, think wildlife conservation or education experiences. Quantum computing, potential breakthroughs, but also environmental questions. Deepfakes, complex ethical territory to navigate. And predictive analytics will just keep getting more important for proactive decision making.
Definitely a fast-evolving field. So what are the final recommendations for nonprofits trying to navigate this future?
Recognize AI as a strategic imperative, not just a tech trend. Invest in ongoing AI education for everyone. Adopt a clear AI governance framework. The book lists several good ones in an appendix, like fundraising.ai, the EU AI Act, NIST.
Okay, having a framework is key.
Start with low-risk applications to build confidence. And commit to continuous learning and adapting because AI isn't going to stand still.
It's an ongoing journey, and the book finishes with a powerful point about the moral imperative, doesn't it?
Yes, it really frames embracing AI as a responsibility, driven by that core nonprofit mission, the love of humankind. AI offers this unprecedented chance to achieve missions more effectively, to build a better world. Ignoring it, they argue, is kind of a missed opportunity to amplify impact.
So let's try to summarize the key takeaways from this deep dive. What stands out most?
Well, the huge transformative potential of AI across the board for nonprofits, fundraising, programs, impact measurement, volunteering. Also, the absolute necessity of adopting it ethically and responsibly. Remembering it's about augmenting people, not replacing them.
Right.
Building AI fluency, committing to continuous learning, those are essential. And the fact that practical AI applications are already out there delivering real results for nonprofits willing to engage thoughtfully.
Okay. And on that note, maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. As humans and machines collaborate more and more in the pursuit of social good, what are the long-term implications? How do we ensure we prioritize, as the authors ask, humanity or utility, or humanity over utility?
Yeah, it's a big question. We definitely encourage you to check out the resources we mentioned, especially the governance frameworks and the nonprofit AI book appendix. Think about how AI could fit ethically into your work, your organization's impact.
Because ultimately, your role in shaping how this powerful technology is used for good is really significant. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.